Good evening. This is Terry Allen. This is Real Progress News. As you probably noticed, maybe you didn't, I have not been able to upload any videos for the past few weeks because my channel was given a strike because of a video that I posted over a year ago, which ironically they said I was spreading medical misinformation. And the video that got taken down actually had nothing, the title had nothing to do with COVID or vaccines or anything. It's about a 30-minute video, and about 20 minutes into it, I mentioned something about a study that was done in Spain by one of the universities there. They had actually analyzed one of the vaccines and had determined that there were nanoparticles of graphene in the vaccine, which are atom layers thick of graphite. And graphene is a conductor. It's super thin, and they're going to be making computer screens from them probably in the future. Anyway, why are basically graphene particles are like miniature nano-sized razor blades. So why is it in there? I don't know, but there's been a bunch of people trying to debunk it, say, oh, it was all bullshit. Well, anyway, they took the video down. I got a strike. So I missed out on a lot of stuff here. There has been some exciting stuff going on in the last few weeks. And I'll start with the Proud Boys trial, okay? Because January 6th was an FBI false flag operation. They were also in conspiracy with the NSA and Homeland Security, and also the Washington, D.C. Metro Police were all involved. And during the trial, this was a kangaroo trial, okay? This was done in Alexandria, Virginia, where it's impossible to get a fair trial because Alexandria is what they call where the intelligence community lives. And since the defense was not allowed to give hardly any evidence, they weren't allowed to they wanted to subpoena Ray Epps, so they weren't allowed to do that. Besides all of the videos that they showed in the trial, Ray Epps was in most of them. You know, we got to go into the Capitol, you know, whispering to different people, different things happening. Boom, the gates are opening. You can see that the police are going, come on in, come on in. I mean, it was an operation. It was obviously, it was the worst done insurrection there's ever been. It was a joke. And they're trying to say that the Proud Boys planned an insurrection and Donald Trump was orchestrating the thing. I mean, you heard the speeches. He said, we love the police. Make sure when you go to the Capitol, it's a peaceful protest. We got to show the Congress and the Senate that the election was stolen. Oh, they're election deniers. Oh, isn't this so horrible? Well, the FBI ran this operation to demonize Donald Trump and MAGA as domestic terrorists. Donald Trump tried to overturn the election, which is he was trying to destroy the democracy. This is all bullshit because the Durham report just came out, and it proves without a doubt, crystal clear, that the Democrats and Hillary Clinton's campaign created Russiagate out of thin air. They made the whole damn thing up to try and destroy Trump, when in fact they were the ones that were conspiring with Russians. They and the British. You had Christopher Steele, part of MI6, was involved. So the British have been always trying to take back the United States for centuries. Essentially, they never really gave up. But you've got this trial. It was a joke. I think there was a couple of the Proud Boys that got acquitted. There was one or two that went and got major sentences. They tried to say that they were instigating insurrection, trying to destroy the government and democracy, which was a complete joke. If you were able to read the transcripts of the trial or watch Robert Govea's channel, he is a defense attorney out of Phoenix, Arizona, and he was reading the court transcript in real time as it was happening every day There was a couple of stenographers in the press room at the courthouse that were monitoring the trial, and they were sending out in real time on Twitter the transcript, and he was reading it in real time as it was going. So if you watch any of this, it's obviously a kangaroo court. It was obviously that the judge was handpicked by the FBI and the feds. I mean, there's no doubt anybody has a brain with eyes and ears can see it. But they're hoping that nobody will watch it, nobody will pay attention. You get your news from MSNBC and CNN, and that's all you need to know. And we're telling you that it's all bullshit. And, you know, Trump is a demon, and he's Hitler reincarnated, and he's going to destroy democracy. Why does the deep state and the FBI and the CIA and the military-industrial complex and Democratic Party and the elitists hate Trump? Because he hasn't done that much good stuff in his last term. But he was a rogue element. He couldn't be controlled. They didn't know what he was going to do, what he was going to say. And he actually has gotten very well educated in the last 3 years. Because now he sees, yes, they were right. He was spied against. He was demonized. He was lied about. Propaganda about Trump. It was all bullshit. They know it now without a doubt that it was all made up. And the FBI colluded with the Democratic Party. They knew. You had Peter Strzok and that silly Lisa Page girl back and forth texting, oh my God, you know, what's going to happen? We can't allow Trump to be elected. We got to have our insurance policy. And then then Peter Strzok was at a hearing, and look at the smug face that he had, like this little evil smile, like, hey, try to get me, you will get me. And he's been interviewed by different people on the congressional hearings, and the Democrats shills. They will lie. They are circling the wagon. They will say anything to try and discredit what's been going on, this FBI collusion, these lies. The censorship, the violations of the First Amendment. These are high crimes and misdemeanors. This is impeachable stuff. These people need to go to prison for lying to Congress and lying to the American people. And one of the reasons why the American people went along with us going into Ukraine and sending them over $100 billion for weaponry to go against Russia, because we got to go fight Russia over there instead of fighting them over here. The American people went along with the bullshit because of Hillary Clinton and the lies, the Russiagate bullshit story they came up with. How many people have been killed over Hillary Clinton's made-up story and lies? These are war crimes. These are criminals. These people have gone fascist. I was a Democrat all my life, but I can't back fascists, and that's what these people have become. I consider myself a social democrat. I backed Bernie Sanders. And look what he did. He got reamed up the ass during the election, and then he collapsed and fell at their feet and started kissing their rings. Oh, Joe Biden, he's not corrupt. He's my friend. Bernie Sanders, go fuck yourself. And then you had Tulsi Gabbard. She got stabbed in the back. And they called her, they said she was treasonous, committing treason. She's a lieutenant colonel in the National Guard, served in Iraq, and they said she was committing treason. That's a death penalty offense. Even Mitt Romney said it. She was like, "Give me your evidence." She sent him a letter, no response. These people are evil pigs. They need to be removed from power. The big problem is we got the Republican Party are impotent, and they're the ones trying to go after them. Now, they could go after somebody with a cum stain and a lie about an affair. They can impeach somebody over that. Or the Democrats impeached Trump twice. But when you have real crimes, real war crimes, real criminal operations like what the Biden family is doing, Joe Biden, peddling his influence, getting money from the Chinese national, the Romanians, the Ukrainians, getting kickbacks, He has 20 LLCs they found through the Treasury documents of all these wire transfers to different members of Joe Biden's family. 9? He's got grandkids that were getting money from the Chinese through these shell companies. What the fuck? Joe Biden is a criminal. He's always been one. Look what he did with NAFTA. I just came back from Mexico. It's a wreck. It's destroyed. You should see it. It's like Skid Row in LA. Shacks everywhere, made out of cardboard and pieces of pallets. It's sickening. Thank you, NAFTA. That's what caused this. Okay? And thank you, Joe Biden, for it. And then you've got the prisons filled up with drug traffickers and drug users. And then you've got these war criminals running around with their Learjets and their book deals. Nobody's going to prison. The real criminals are running scot-free, and the little petty criminals that maybe shoplifted or stole some beer or something, smoked some weed and got busted. Oh, stick them in jail, because then we can use those for prison labor. This country is falling apart. The justice system is 2 tiers. 1 tier for the rich and powerful, and the other for everybody else, and we're the ones that get screwed. This has got to end. And the problem is we got to rely on the Republicans to do it. And Republicans have been elitists for a long time. They were always tied to Wall Street, but now the Democrats have come in and taken over all the Wall Street money. The Democrats are complete fascists. They have gone total fascists. They will lie, cheat, steal, do anything they can to maintain their power. That's what they're doing. That's what they have done. These people need to go. You cannot violate the Constitution as the presidential regime running the country. That is a high crime. It's impeachable. These people, you probably can't put Biden in prison, but you can sure round up all these other son of a bitches that have committed these war crimes and all these other crimes. Like Anthony Blinken went to one of his friends at the CIA and said, oh, we got to squash this Hunter Biden story right before the election, otherwise we'll lose the election. So he got, 50 or 51 retired FBI and CIA operatives to sign this letter that, oh, we don't have any evidence, but this is all the earmarks of a Russian plot. And so it got squashed. Twitter, YouTube, Google, Facebook, they all squashed the story. They censored truth to manipulate the election. That is election fraud. It was perpetrated by the Democratic Party, instigated by Hillary Clinton. They manipulated the election. And then they called us election deniers? Screw you with your hypocrisy and your Machiavellian bullshit. This is an outrage. This is the worst. This is 10 times worse than Watergate, any of the other things that have ever happened in this country. This is a cabal of fascists that have taken over this country, running it into the ground, destroyed the economy. They're getting us right on the verge of World War III, funneling billions of dollars, over $100 billion into Ukraine for weaponry. And Zelensky and his buddies are skimming money, millions of dollars of money, putting it into Cyprus bank accounts. And they're finding these weapons all over the world. They're selling U.S. weapons that they were given on the black market. They're showing up in Saudi Arabia. They're showing up in Africa and Asia. They're showing up everywhere. And they were getting kickbacks to the Democratic Party through that cryptocurrency scheme by Bankman-Fried and that silly girl that was running the accounting department. And they had ties to the SEC. Her parents were in the SEC or something, and it was a circle jerk. The United States government was giving billions of dollars to Ukraine. Ukraine was buying up this cryptocurrency, and then the crypto companies, FTX was sending money, donating hundreds of millions of dollars to the DNC and the Democratic Party campaigns, along with $400 million from that silly guy that was running Facebook. This is a monstrous scam. This is a looting operation that we haven't seen. And then these Democrats in these hearings are questioning the whistleblowers and questioning Matt Taibbi like he's some kind of criminal and threatening him with prison for revealing the truth. And Elon Musk, you got to ask that, because Elon Musk has some major federal contracts for NASA, military. Who allowed him to release the Twitter files, which are stabbing the Democratic Party and the FBI in the back, essentially, because their hands were on everything. Elon Musk said, we're going to have to rewrite the entire Twitter program. We're going to have to throw it out and start over because it's so full of holes. They had ports through to every acronym that we've got in this country: FBI, CIA, NSA, the National Security Agency, the Homeland Security. They're all funneling emails into Twitter saying, take this down, silence that, shadow ban that, this, that, or we'll write on it. This was a criminal operation because the government is not allowed to censor, so they're using a private company to do their dirty work, to violate the Constitution. And nobody's going to go to prison? Nobody's going to get impeached? God help us. This is insanity. The Durham report shows without a doubt, crystal clear, that Hillary Clinton made the whole thing up. Her attorneys went to the FBI. They had got illegal Pfizer warrants because they were lying to the court, knowingly lying. They were trying to keep Trump from winning the election, and they knew it. And that is election manipulation. That's election fraud. That's propaganda. They were manipulating the media. Of course, the corporate media loves, Joe Biden and the money they're getting from Pfizer and the money they're getting from, Boeing advertising on television. Well, who's going to go out and buy a plane? Jesus Christ, it's all just window dressing. The emperor has no clothes. Oh my God. You've got to call the Republicans. You got Jim Jordan. You've got Matt Gaetz. You've got Marjorie Taylor Greene. Yeah, Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's not crazy. Okay. Just like Alex Jones wasn't crazy. He's been talking about the globalists for decades. They had to shut him up. He apologized for the Sandy Hook bullshit. But if you look at the evidence, it looks weird. That's for sure. I saw some of it. Some of these videos are very strange about what's going on. But in the end, yeah, it was a massacre, and he admitted it, and he apologized, and they tried to sue him for $1 billion. Never dreamed he made that much money. But anyway, the bottom line is we are at war with the oligarchy, and this is a life or death war. And we've got to rely on Republicans to save us, for God's sake. I'm a People's Party advocate. I am a member. I donate money. I believe in the third party movement. Peoplesparty.org. But we don't have time. We can't wait for the 2024 election. These heads must roll now, or we're going to be dead by the end of this election cycle. Could be in World War III. The Democratic Party has gone insane. And because of this Russiagate hoax bullshit, the American people bought it and are backing them up. Yeah, we got to go in there and save Ukraine. This was a NATO operation. They've been surrounding Russia for decades. They lied. They violated their treaties. Look at how many military bases that you've got all around Russia. They're everywhere. Russia is surrounded. This was a violation of the treaty that they made, that NATO made with Russia when the Soviet Union collapsed and they reunited Germany. And that was the deal. We'll reunite Germany and NATO will not go any farther east. Well, immediately, boom, Poland in the NATO. Then we've got Lithuania, and they start putting all these different countries in NATO, and slowly they're creeping in, and Russia's panicking. Russia only spends $65 billion a year on their military, and we spend over $1 trillion. I guarantee it's more than that because we're funding covert operations under the table. Talk about election manipulations. CIA, they've been overthrowing duly elected presidents since, 1953? With the Shah, the president of Iran was thrown out and the Shah was put back in because he was working with the oil companies, and the United States loved that, cheap oil. They've been scamming the world and the United States people for decades. We are in a death struggle with the oligarchy, the deep state. We are in a death struggle with the psychos and pedophiles and the World Economic Forum that are coming together. Remember they used to talk about the Illuminati? Oh my God, this is a conspiracy theory. Well, look at what these guys sit together and dream up this bullshit about how we're going to chip everybody and, we're going to take away all the property. We're going to put everybody's data on a digital currency, and you can't buy or sell anything. Your account will be locked up if you go against the federal government and you try to stand up against the cabal. Your bank accounts will be shut off. We are in a serious, serious problem. We are about to lose our country. And we're going to end up in concentration camps looking at each other going, what the fuck happened? Well, this is what happened because we are at the last moment to solve these problems. We've got to take out the deep state. And Donald Trump has said, well, that's what we're going to do. The very first thing we're going to do is we're going to take these son of a bitches out. We don't have time for the 2024 election. Like I said, I was a Democrat all my life. I was a Tulsi Gabbard supporter. I was a Bernie Sanders supporter. I don't like Trump. Never did like Republicans. And it's so ironic that now our hands are that we are in the hands of Donald Trump and the Republicans to bail us out of this mess. Oh my God. So you've got to get on the phone, email, phone. You have got to hit the Republicans, everybody. You got to hit them, demand that their heads must roll. This cabal has got to be taken out. We're about ready to lose our government. We have lost our democracy decades ago. When you have the elitists giving you two shitty candidates, pick from A and B, shit pile A, shit pile B. Oh, that's democracy? It's not democracy. It's a sham. It's propaganda, brainwashing bullshit to make Americans think they're getting democracy, and they're not getting anything. They're getting hoodwinked. And now this is just the latest, greatest, most incredible scam in history, the most criminal operation in the history of the United States. Guaranteed. And if these people's heads don't roll, then we're done. We're finished. So we got one chance left, basically, and we can't wait till 2024. We can't wait. If we don't do something now, it's finished. You want to go into a civil war? Is that what you want? When the military comes in and try and take your weapons away, and they are fully armed with bulletproof vests, and we've got 44s and some SKSs to go up against them? You can't win that. That's why I interviewed my son. He was in the Army. I said, will these people fire on American civilians during an uprising? Because you think that January 6th was an insurrection? Yeah, it was a Sunday picnic. They were hanging out at the food trucks, for God's sake. Oh my God. And then Tucker Carlson, he gets, thrown out of Fox one of the only voices that was actually able to say some of the truth. And they got rid of him right away. You know, what's interesting is this whole Dominion lawsuit. Vanguard and BlackRock own a huge percentage of Fox and Dominion. So I wouldn't be surprised if they just like, oh, well, you know, the money's not really changing hands. So we're going to put it in this bank account, and they're going to put it in that bank account. It was all bullshit. I can guarantee you that any machine, any computer can be hacked. Any system can be reprogrammed. Virus can be put in it. I guarantee you can do anything. I work on computers. I'm not a computer expert, but if you look at what is happening in Maricopa County with Kerry Lake, they finally got a real computer expert in there, and they examined these Dominion machines and found that half of them weren't even working properly. And they lied on the certification and said that they had all been tested, and they hadn't. These people are out of control. They'll do anything. They'll say anything. They'll kill anybody to stay in power. Because this is run by the oligarchy. This is run by the elitists. This is run by the super rich and the super powerful. And just like the Epstein case, under the rug, nothing happens. This is a major pedophile ring and blackmail operation run by the CIA and the Mossad. And nobody went to prison except Ghislaine Maxwell and Epstein, and then he was suicided or he was taken out, pulled out of the prison. I mean, that was a high-level operation to pull somebody or have them killed in a maximum security prison with cameras everywhere. That is an operation at the highest level. There's no doubt about it. So we are at war with the devil. We are at war with pure evil, psychopathy. This is a dangerous situation, everybody. And if we don't do something now, we never will. It'll be too late. So when you and I and everybody else is standing in that concentration camp going, what the fuck happened? It's because you didn't do shit. You sat around watching TV, watching Netflix. Oh, everything will be okay. And the Christians over here, oh, just let God take care of it. Just pray about it. Everything will all work out in the end. We are up against satanic evil. And you can't pray that away. You must act. You must fight the evil or it will destroy you. And that's where we're at. So I bid you good night. Let's see what we can do with this, because we have a short time left. All right, everybody have a good evening. Troy. Okay. All right, peace.